High above Earth, far away among the stars, was a planet called Xylar. This planet was unlike any other in the universe, a place where the skies were painted in shades of purple and the flora glowed with an ethereal light. Xylar was a world of wonder and mystery, a place where the impossible seemed possible and the extraordinary was an everyday occurrence. It had purple skies and glowing plants which illuminated the nights with a soft, magical glow. The air was filled with the sweet scent of alien flowers, and the ground was covered in a carpet of bioluminescent moss that shimmered underfoot. The landscape was dotted with towering trees that reached towards the heavens, their leaves sparkling like stars. The people who lived there were kind and gentle, their hearts as warm as the sun that shone down on their world. They lived in harmony with nature, respecting the delicate balance of their ecosystem. Their villages were built among the trees, blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. They were a peaceful and loving community, always ready to lend a helping hand to those in need. Their skin was the color of moonlight, and their eyes looked like faraway galaxies, filled with the wisdom of the ages. They communicated with each other through a combination of spoken language and telepathy, their thoughts and emotions flowing freely between them. Their voices were melodic, like the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind, and their laughter was like the tinkling of crystal bells. This is where a young boy named Sam lived. Sam was a curious and adventurous child, always eager to explore the world around him. He had a bright smile and a twinkle in his eye, and he was loved by everyone who knew him. He had a special connection with the Xylarians, who had taken him in and made him one of their own. He came to Xylar when he was only 6 years old, after a very sad accident on his spaceship. His parents had been lost in the accident, and he had been left all alone in the vastness of space. But fate had brought him to Xylar, where he had found a new family and a new home. The Xylarians had welcomed him with open arms, and he had quickly become a beloved member of their community. The Xylarians were very caring, and took Sam in as one of their own. They taught him their ways and helped him to heal from the trauma of his past. They showed him the beauty of their world and the importance of living in harmony with nature. They became his new family, and he loved them dearly. He learned their language, how they lived, and how much they cared for nature. He spent his days exploring the forests and fields, learning about the plants and animals that called Xylar home. He marveled at the beauty of the bioluminescent plants and the strange, otherworldly creatures that roamed the landscape. He felt a deep connection to the world around him, and he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be. A wise Xylarian named Ilara became like a mother to him, loving him and helping him learn about the universe. Ilara was a gentle and nurturing soul, with a wealth of knowledge about the stars and the planets. She taught Sam about the mysteries of the cosmos and the wonders of the universe. She showed him how to navigate by the stars and how to read the signs of the natural world. She was his guide and his mentor, and he loved her dearly. Sam loved living on Xylar. He felt a sense of belonging and purpose that he had never known before. He was surrounded by people who loved and cared for him, and he was free to explore and learn to his heart's content. He was happy and content, and he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be. He explored the glowing forests, marveling at the beauty of the bioluminescent plants and the strange, otherworldly creatures that roamed the landscape. He climbed the towering trees and gazed out at the world below, feeling a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty of his new home. He felt a deep connection to the world around him, and he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be. He made friends with sparkly creatures who were as curious about him as he was about them. They played together in the forests and fields, chasing each other through the trees and splashing in the crystal-clear streams. They taught him about their world, and he taught them about his. They became fast friends, and he loved them dearly. He learned to talk with his mind, just like the Xylarians. It was a strange and wonderful experience, and he marveled at the ease with which they communicated. He practiced every day, honing his skills and learning to send and receive thoughts and emotions. It was a new and exciting way to connect with the world around him, and he loved it. Sometimes he looked at the stars and felt a little sad, remembering his home planet, even though he couldn't remember much about it. He wondered what had become of his old life and if he would ever see Earth again, but then he would look around at the beauty of Xylar and the love of his new family, and he would feel a sense of peace and contentment. He knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be, but Zilar felt like home now, and the Xylarians felt like family. He had found a place where he belonged, and he was happy and content. He knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be, and he was grateful for the love and support of his new family. He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change because of a special Xylarian girl. She was unlike anyone he had ever met, and she would open his eyes to new possibilities and new adventures. She would become his best friend and his confidant, and together they would explore the wonders of the universe. His journey was just beginning, and he couldn't wait to see where it would take him. Many years went by. Sam grew into a young man, strong and kind, learning from both his human and Xylarian families. Everyone loved him on Xylar. During a big celebration called the Lumina Festival, Sam saw Lyra for the first time. She was beautiful, with skin that glowed like starlight and eyes like a nebula, but Lyra wasn't well. She was very tired, and no one knew why. A bad sickness was spreading on Xylar, making the Xylarians weak. Lyra was the first to get sick. Ilara, Sam's Xylarian mother, told him the bad news. The only cure was a special flower from Earth, a flower that needed lots of sunlight to grow. Sam remembered a little about these flowers from Earth. Sam felt a little bit of hope. It was a rare feeling for him, living on the distant planet of Xylar, where the skies were often filled with the cold light of two suns. But tonight, as he gazed up at the stars, he felt a spark of something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. It was a small glimmer, but it was enough to make him believe that maybe, just maybe, things could change. Even though he grew up on Xylar, Earth was where he was born. The memories of Earth were faint, like a distant dream, but they were there. He remembered the stories his parents used to tell him about the blue skies, the green fields, and the warmth of the sun. Xylar was beautiful in its own way, with its towering alien architecture and advanced technology, but it was not Earth. It was not home. He remembered the sun, how warm it was, very different from Xylar's two cool suns. The suns on Xylar were distant and cold, casting a pale light that never quite warmed the skin, but the sun on Earth was different. It was warm and golden, filling the world with light and life. He missed that warmth, that feeling of being alive under the sun's rays. Ilara put her hand on Sam's shoulder. She was his best friend, his confidant, and the one person who understood him the most. Her touch was comforting, a reminder that he was not alone in this vast universe. She had always been there for him, through the good times and the bad, and now as he faced the biggest challenge of his life, she was there once again. "The journey to Earth is dangerous, Sam," she said. "Earth is not the same as you remember." Her voice was filled with concern, and Sam could see the worry in her eyes. She was right, of course. The journey to Earth was fraught with dangers, and the planet itself had changed in ways he could not even imagine. But he had to go, he had to try. But Sam knew he had to try. He had to save Lyra. Lyra was more than just a friend. She was the light in his life, the one who made him believe in the impossible. She had been taken from him, and he could not rest until he brought her back. The thought of her kept him going, gave him the strength to face the unknown. He felt something special when he looked at her, and he wanted to hear her happy laugh again. Her laughter was like music, a melody that filled his heart with joy. He remembered the times they spent together, the moments of happiness and laughter. Those memories were his anchor, his reason for fighting. He would do anything to hear that laugh again. He would go to Earth, find the sun-loving flower, and bring it back to Xylar. The flower was said to have magical properties, capable of healing and bringing life to the barren lands of Xylar. It was a long shot, but it was the only hope they had. He had read about it in ancient texts, stories passed down through generations. If he could find it, he could save Lyra and bring hope to his people. Sam looked at old maps of Earth, trying to remember the planet. The maps were ancient, filled with alien scripts and symbols that were hard to decipher, but he studied them intently, trying to piece together the puzzle. He had to find the flower, and the maps were his only guide. He spent hours poring over them, memorizing every detail, every landmark. He felt like he was meant to do this, even though he was scared. The fear was always there, lurking in the back of his mind, but he couldn't let it stop him. He had a mission, a purpose, and he had to see it through. He stood alone in the large futuristic room, feeling the weight of the task ahead, but he also felt a sense of determination, a resolve that kept him going. He got ready to leave, knowing it would be hard, but thinking of Lyra gave him courage. He packed his futuristic backpack, filled with supplies and tools he would need for the journey. He looked at a holographic projection of Lyra, her face filled with hope and determination. She was his inspiration, his reason for fighting. As he prepared to leave, he felt a surge of courage, a belief that he could do this. He could save Lyra and bring hope to his people. The trip to Earth was long and hard. Sam had been traveling for what felt like an eternity, navigating through the vast, unending expanse of space. The stars, once a source of wonder, now seemed like distant, cold companions on his solitary journey. Each day blended into the next, with only the hum of the spaceship's engines to keep him company. The isolation was palpable, and the weight of his mission pressed heavily on his shoulders. Sam traveled in a Zilarian spaceship, far away from his home on Xylar. The ship was a marvel of alien technology, with controls and displays that were both fascinating and bewildering. He had spent countless hours learning to operate the ship, guided by the Xylarians who had become his second family. Their advanced technology was the only reason he had a chance of reaching Earth in time. He missed the glowing forests and Ilara, but he kept thinking about Lyra. The memories of Xylar were vivid in his mind, the bioluminescent trees that lit up the night, the gentle hum of the planet's unique wildlife, and Ilara's comforting presence. But it was Lyra, his sister, who occupied his thoughts the most. He had promised to bring back the rare flower that could save her, and that promise drove him forward. He studied Earth's maps and remembered little bits of his childhood, a swing set in the sun, the smell of grass, his parents' hugs. These memories were like fragments of a dream, hazy and distant, yet they provided a sense of purpose. He recalled the laughter of his friends, the warmth of his family's love, and the simple joys of a life that now seemed so far away. Each memory was a beacon, guiding him through the darkness of space. He wanted to remember those things again, but saving Lyra was more important. Weeks turned into months. The journey was grueling, with each passing day testing his resolve. The vastness of space was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a constant reminder of how small and fragile he was. Yet his determination never wavered. He knew that every moment he spent in the cold void brought him one step closer to saving his sister. Sam was brave and patient, just like he learned from his two families. The Xylarians had taught him resilience and the importance of hope, while his human family had instilled in him a deep sense of love and duty. These lessons were his guiding stars, helping him navigate the challenges of his journey. He often looked at the hologram of his family, drawing strength from their smiling faces. He flew through dangerous meteor showers and strange wormholes, each obstacle a test of his skills and courage. The meteor showers were particularly harrowing, with rocks hurtling towards the ship at incredible speeds. The wormholes, on the other hand, were mysterious and unpredictable, warping time and space in ways that defied understanding. Yet Sam faced each challenge head-on, driven by his mission, and he felt the quiet of deep space. The silence was profound, broken only by the occasional beep of the ship's instruments. It was in these quiet moments that Sam found time to reflect on his journey and the enormity of his task. The vast emptiness of space was both a comfort and a reminder of his isolation. But it was also a canvas for his thoughts, a place where he could dream of a future where Lyra was safe and happy. He kept thinking about Lyra, her smile, her laughter, and the way she used to chase fireflies in the garden. These memories were his anchor, keeping him grounded even as he floated through the void. He imagined the look on her face when he returned, the joy and relief that would light up her eyes. It was this vision that kept him going, even when the journey seemed endless, and her laugh helped him keep going. It was a sound that echoed in his mind, a reminder of the life he was fighting to save. He could almost hear her voice, encouraging him to stay strong and keep moving forward. This imaginary connection to Lyra was a lifeline, a source of strength that helped him endure the long, lonely days. Ilara gave him a special container to keep the flower safe. The container was a marvel of Zilarian engineering, designed to preserve the delicate flower in perfect condition. Ilara had entrusted it to him with a solemn promise, knowing that the flower was Lyra's only hope. Sam carried it with the utmost care, aware of the precious cargo it held. Finally, he saw Earth, a blue and green ball in space. The sight filled him with a mix of emotions, relief, excitement, and a touch of fear. It was a beautiful, fragile world, teeming with life and possibilities. As he approached, the familiar outlines of continents and oceans came into view, stirring memories of his childhood. He felt happy, scared, and hopeful all at once. The journey had been long and arduous, but now the end was in sight. He was about to step back onto the planet he had once called home, a place that now seemed both familiar and alien. The emotions swirled within him, a tumultuous mix of joy and apprehension. He was home, but it felt strange, like a new place he had to explore. The Earth he remembered was a distant memory, and he knew that much had changed in his absence. But as he stepped out of the spaceship and felt the ground beneath his feet, he was filled with a sense of hope. This was the beginning of a new chapter, a chance to save Lyra and rediscover the world he had left behind.